What's up, world? Welcome back to another episode of What You Need to Know. My name is Brian D. Exclusive, and today we're going to be covering how if you import the third world, you become the third world. I know it's a age-old saying that's been beaten to death at this point, but people don't understand and people didn't believe. And now all across America, all across the West in general, we are a third world country. We're seeing trash in the streets, people being beaten, cops being attacked, buildings being burned, cars being destroyed. We have totally lost our minds. And they have the goal to try to say that it's some sort of white racism to acknowledge this. So, without further ado, check out this cop getting assaulted by some third world scum. Imagine trying to assault a cop, getting arrested, and screaming help like you are the victim. That is because these people do not assimilate. They don't care about our culture. They don't care about our values. They don't care about what we want. They are here with a mission to take over and destroy. Here's another video. This is from a couple days ago where some deranged woman thought that she could try to assault an ICE officer and got a reality check. Watch this.
Oh, get up. Get up. Fuck.
These people are delusional, like completely out of their mind. But when you go out for this long without any pushback and everybody's just allowing you to be crazy and allowing you to do this, you start to get delusional. And this is what happens. It's like having a child that you never tell no to. They have no grasp of reality. Now, here's some Antifa members telling their outright goal, which is to eliminate white people and to destroy our cities. Watch this.
So, what's your goal? Just to destroy Portland?
If you want to, yeah, that's part of it.
But okay, then you want to rebuild it. But what do you want to rebuild?
We just want to blow it.
You just want to blow it up?
I just want to blow everything up.
I want it to
Burn
be like
down.
a big.
I also want to kill everybody too.
That is
All the
so
white people
crazy.
should die.
Aren't you white?
Nope.
I can't see you because you have a mask on.
That's the point.
I think there's more to you than that. I do.
I don't.
I do.
I'm just a black person. I'm just black.
I'm just brown.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
But I think there's more to you than that. I honestly do.
Make some money.
What do you guys want?
I want all white people to die.
What? Why? Why are you like that? Don't be like that. That's not a good.
Ancestral anger. Let's set it on.
Okay, but what about? Yeah, come on, guys. Hey, give me a flyer at least.
See, as long as you do not reprimand people for saying outlandish stuff like that is not protected under free speech. But yet, people that talk about this stuff are the ones that get censored. The ones that are acknowledging that this is happening, they get censored. But when some radical leftist Antifa thug goes out and advocates Hitlerian ideology, it's totally accepted. These videos are all over the internet. Now, here's a video of Zohran Mandami's assistant preaching some of the most radical ideas that you've probably heard from somebody affiliated in politics, where they aren't on hidden camera. This isn't like a James O'Keefe video. She turned on the camera and said this, thinking it was a good idea. This is how delusional they are. Watch this.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. It's just a question. We don't want to get doxxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels.
The fact that she is not arrested for publicly actually calling to violence, that is literal. That's not some AI flagging a video unnecessarily. Her own words, her own beliefs, and she is not filming that as like a Dave Chappelle joke. It's not a skit. That is serious. But it's not just her. We also have videos of Ilhan Omar basically saying that white people are the threat and that white people need to be monitored and surveyed because they are so dangerous. It's crazy. They're literally flipping. This is what they do. They accuse you of everything that they are guilty of. Now, that's not always the case, but when it comes to this cult in particular, that is 100% their mechanism of strategy. So watch this.
But you say there's no debate about whether Trump's a racist, and a lot of people would agree with you on that. And in fact, there's been an explosion in the number of anti-Muslim, far-right, white nationalist groups in the US over the past couple of years. Your own state of Minnesota experienced a record number of anti-Muslim incidents in 2016. You yourself, I believe, just a few weeks after your election victory, I think you had a cab driver call you filthy and ISIS and threaten to remove your hijab. How much do you hold Trump and the rise of Trump responsible for this explosion of US Islamophobia?
Oh, I would actually come very short of holding them exclusively responsible for the rise. I think when you demonize and dehumanize, it is easy for people to commit acts of violence against those individuals because they no longer see them as a person, as someone who has feelings, who's worthy of respect. And I think that is where we are moving away from the idea that we are supposed to be a welcoming nation.
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but of fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
That is outlandish. First of all, factually inaccurate. 100% factually inaccurate. What she said makes no sense. On top of that, the idea that they can sit here and try to claim all of this racist hate from people that are white while they literally are spewing hateful rhetoric towards whites. The hypocrisy is amazing. We're going to look back at this period of history with the most shocked minds that the world has ever seen. You think that when you talk about how did the Nazis go and round up, you guys are literally doing that. I don't understand how you don't understand. It is so obvious. Now, here's a video of Zohran Mandami saying that basically if you don't vote for him, it's because you're Islamophobic. It has nothing to do with policy. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's because you're a racist, hateful son of a bitch. Watch this.
Laugh and agree when a radio show host said that I would cheer another 9/11. When I listened to the current mayor of this city explaining his decision to endorse Andrew Cuomo as a decision to ensure that New York City does not become Europe, that we do not leave it to violent extremists who burn churches in Nigeria. When I listen to all of this and then turn on TV and see ads that have the words of terrorism and jihad on top of my face that not only mock the way that I eat, but are all intended to terrify New Yorkers as to the prospect of having a Muslim mayor, I decided that it was simply too much. It was too much to think of these as the acts of desperate men looking to salvage the little power that they still had. It was, in fact, a reflection of Islamophobia within our political system that has become so endemic that when we hear it, we do not know from which party it comes. We just know that it is a fact of life in our city's politics. And amidst all of this, the focus of so many is just how much bigotry they can engage in.
That is so stupid. Now, here's a video of a Muslim saying that everything that Zohran Mandami is pushing does not actually represent him. And I think this is important because while I do have strong concerns with Muslims and Islam in general, just based on the ideology, and I would love to debate individual pieces of it, because there's just a few that really stand out, like Muhammad marrying a 7-year-old. But beyond all that, the fact that there are at least Muslims that are speaking out against Iran is at least gives some hope. It's inspiring a little bit. So listen to his words.
As a Muslim from New York, Zoran, please, for the love of God, stop speaking for us. For the longest time, Zoran has loved getting in front of a camera and crying, literally crying, about how hard it was to be Muslim during 9/11. I'm Muslim, I'm from Queens, I was born and raised, and I was in New York City during that time. Yes, there was racism, yes, there was bigotry, people looked at you different. But what we learned from our aunts, from our uncles, from our parents is that the way you show them up is you work harder, you become more successful, you make sure that your character is morally superior.
Look, as much as I disagree with the ideology that he is, a part of, what he just said is the right way to handle things. If you feel like you are being discriminated against, then prove them wrong. If somebody says, I'm not going to give you a job because I don't like your face, fine. I'm going to start a job that is very similar to what you are doing, and I'm going to run you out of this town, and I'm going to put you out of business because you can't compete with me. That is the mindset of a winner. Sometimes you stumble, sometimes you fall, but a champion, the eye of the tiger, they don't back down to no challenges, especially from some stupid freaking comments. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Now, here's a video of Zoran talking about some of the policies that he wants to implement. All of these socialist, communist ideas. And following this, I have a video of somebody who escaped communism and has very strong opinions about these policies. So first, check this out.
Here is what we stand for, my friends. We are going to freeze the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants and use every resource at our disposal to build housing for everyone who needs it. We are going to eliminate the fare on every single bus line and make what are currently the slowest buses in the nation move around this city with ease. And we are going to create universal childcare at no cost to parents, so New Yorkers can raise their family in the city they love.
Dude, if I had property in New York right now, seeing how the election is going and the chances of anybody else winning besides him, I would be liquidating, cashing out. If I had enough money, I would just take an L on whatever you're going to lose. Because what is happening there is a spit in the face of anybody that tries. That's all it is. They're importing the third world so they can be the third world. And it's disgusting and it needs to stop. Now here's a video of a man who escaped this, who had vivid memories of what it was like having government stores and government policies that didn't work because they never work, ever. So watch this man, because if you don't believe me, he went through it.
Zoran Mandami, I have a message for you. You want a government grocery? Government grocery, they can do it this. In 35 years in my life, I can do it this in my country. When the grocery is for the government.
Zoran, even cheese you cannot find at the government-run grocery stores in Cuba.
Oh wow, Zoran Mandami, I coming from the island, we can have a fish. We can buy a fish.
And before the socialists come out, yes, the embargo exempts food. And when the Castros are driving around in their Mercedes-Benz, ask them about the blockade.
Zoran Mandani, at least one more. You see this? This is the dream for people like me.
Look, people need to understand what's about to happen here if we do not stop communism. Communism erodes a country so quickly. It'll be a matter of weeks, if not months, and then everything will be gone if we start going down this path any further. It'll just go. The power grid will just go. People will lose their minds. We'll start having food wars in the streets. It's going to become a county versus county, city versus city, and state versus state battle. The worst civil war in world history. We have to avoid this by understanding history itself. Understand why people escape this. Why are these people coming to America to escape socialism? You fucking idiots. Now, here's some rainbow-haired bimbo talking about why she's converting to Islam. This is important because in 1979 Iran, this is what happened. All of the liberals started to embrace Islam, thinking that they were having a bad rap from the Christians and all of this stuff. And then once they took over, they executed all of them. Please understand what you're walking yourselves into. Watch this.
But the last 2 years have changed me. And honestly, I don't think that I can call myself a Christian anymore. I've been considering converting to Islam for 2 years. You want to know the biggest difference that I've noticed between Christianity and Islam? One is based off of love. The other is based off of fear. I used to be on the hard, messy, bloody, dangerous front lines with the Muslims as opposed to sitting comfortably in the back with the Christians, watching genocide like it's entertainment, eating popcorn, and clapping in the name of Jesus. Who was Palestinian, by the way? I know that publicly denouncing arguably one of the most powerful and evil religions in this world is going to have its consequences, but I don't care because I'm always going to choose the side of love.
It's so crazy. The delusion. That's literally what it is. It's delusion. I can post a million videos showing exactly what is happening with Islamists. And people will still come out and say, but they're the ones on the side of love. How? In what way? Now that we have all of these Islamists starting to take over our countries and they're becoming more and more comfortable with their positions, we're starting to see more people get attacked by them. Here's a video of just that.
I love eating pussy. Oh my god, I love fucking my trans boyfriend. Oh my god, I love fucking my trans boyfriend. Is it a boyfriend or a girlfriend? All of them. All of them. I love to eat pussy. Can you get one? Got more pussy than you've ever seen, son. I get more pussy than you've ever seen, son. I can smell your dick cheese from here, you know? I have 3 kids, and I will never stop fucking fighting against you fucking whack jobs. Hopefully they turn out okay, man. I hope I pray for them. Your kids are so embarrassed when you come pick them up from school.
Look, the fact that these people are so disgustingly perverted, walking around in public screaming profanities like that, it's mind-boggling. But it's not just the fact that they're starting to follow people around, harass them, and assault them, but they're taking over our spaces. Remember, what I'm about to show you is not in Iran. Islam is taking over the West. We have to stand up. We need to stop this, and the only way is to get our voices heard. Peacefully make your voices heard. Because if this continues, we will be forced under Sharia law. Now here's a video of a man who was actually deported by ICE. And he has a very unique story because he came here as a child and his parents lied to him about what was happening. And he's very level-headed. He's going to follow the process. But his story is crazy. And this is what happens when radical leftists start messing with paperwork and committing fraud. You destroy lives of people that don't deserve it. Watch this.
Yes, I got deported after 20 plus years and 97+% of my life in the United States. ICE agents picked me up in Chicago and threw me in jail for 3 weeks because my parents did not file my paperwork correctly. They brought me to the United States on a visa, overstayed that visa, had opportunities to appeal it in court, and my father did not show up to court. Now I'm in the United Kingdom, and this country sucks. And it has made me more America first, because you see that outside of London, all of England is a third world country, a dump. I hate it here, and I am excited and ready to go back to the United States, but I have a 10-year ban to wait out and I'm waiting to bring my fiance over because I had a wedding scheduled that I had to cancel. And it's taken everything in me to forgive my parents for what they've done to me and what they've caused. But I'll keep going on.
All of you radical leftists that commit fraud, it is not a victimless crime. This proves that it is not a victimless crime. And the more that you go on doing these things, the more people are going to become victims that don't deserve it. Speaking of victims, here's a video from Toronto where people that are pro-Canada and are against the communist takeover that is currently happening there and against the Islamists destroying their country are now having physical clashes with these quote-unquote protesters. Watch this.
You know you're protected, you little bitch. You know you're protected, you little bitch. You know you're protected, you little bitch.
Please, nobody's stopping me. Nobody's fucking stopping me. Please come make me. Come, swing. Come. I'm small. Come for me. These guys are cowards. They punch down at migrants and immigrants instead of the government that's actually making their lives hard.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoy my content, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with more videos. Peace.